Hello, people. Welcome to this channel, and we'll be drafting a trouser pattern. But before we get started, I want to wish everyone a very happy new year and welcome to 2023. We thank God for life and we thank God that we're able to do this again. I hope you had a very beautiful and wonderful holiday. So, today we are going to be drafting a trouser pattern, okay? And if you've been having issues on maybe your crotch after making a trouser and any problem of any sort, please, I would like you to watch this channel from the beginning. Sorry, this video from the beginning to the end, and try not to skip, and you wouldn't have regrets over this, okay? I'll make sure I make it as short as I can, but detailed, okay? And I want to say thank you for being there for me last year, and I hope and I pray you help tell others about this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do well to subscribe and make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and please watch to the end. So let's get started, okay? Okay, here we are. This is our pattern paper that we'll be needing. We'll be needing our measurement. We'll be needing a marker, and I'll also be using another marker as well to create the back from the front. Okay, I'll be needing all these tools here. The measurement that is required for this tutorial is the trouser length. We'll be needing our trouser length, the hip circumference, the waist measurement, the crotch. The crotch, I did not take the measurement, but it can be derived. This tutorial will be very good for those who do ready to wear, okay? Because so many measurements is not required to achieve this beautiful trouser that I'll be making, okay? That I'll be drafting, all right? So we'll calculate our crotch. Our crotch, the front crotch can be gotten by dividing your hip. You can divide your hip by 20 to get your front crotch, and the back crotch can be gotten by dividing your hip by 10, okay? Then that's just it. I think that's just what we'll be needing, because the normally the hip length can be gotten from, we can use 8.5, okay? And then what else? Your crotch length can be gotten by, some people, most times you can easily divide to get your crotch length, which is very important, okay? If you are doing, especially if you're doing a trouser that is fitted, okay, it's very important. So your crotch length is gotten from just adding 1.5 to your hip measurement, your hip length, sorry. So most times some people divide it by 4, but if you're making a fitted trouser for someone that has a large hip, dividing it by 4 is going to give you the crotch will be kind of long, okay? It will not be that okay. So by adding 1.5, it will give you a better crotch. I hope you understand. So let's get started. So now we'll be marking out, we'll mark out 4 inches from here, because we'll be getting our back from here, okay? As we move along, you will understand why we're taking down 4 inches. But if you are drafting straight on your fabric, okay, you can go down by just maybe 1.5 or 2 inches because you'll be drafting just the front before you use that to draft to cut out the back. So this is what we have. Here, I'll take out, we'll be taking out 2 inches from here. So I'll now have to join the point, a 2 inches point. So now I know that from here to here will not give me the full length of my trouser. So I'll have to measure what will be required of me from here to here, and I'll use the back crotch extension. I'll add it to whatever I have in my hip measurement, okay? Whatever you have as your hip after dividing by 4, you add it to your crotch after dividing by 10 at the back to measure what will be required of you and your allowance that will be needed, okay? And so I'll have to measure 16.8. My hip is 12 after dividing by 4, and my back crotch extension after dividing by 10, I have 4.8, okay, because my hip is 48. So I'll mark out 16.8 plus the allowance that I'll be needing. I'll just make it 18.5. So I'll just use this to join hands. So I cut out this part. Now I can cut off this part to add to this other part to make it long. So now I'll cut off this part. Now I'll use this. Take this one. So next up, we'll be taking a vertical measurement, okay? We'll be taking a hip length, which is 8.5. You can take the hip length, you can take 8.5, you can take 8, you can take 9, depending on if you would want it to be a high-waisted trouser or not, okay? You take your hip length, you take your crotch length, and I said your crotch length, you come down by 1.5, 1.5 lower than your hip length. depending on how you want the trouser to be. It can also be, you can also make it two. Okay, okay, let me just make it two to give you a little bit of ease in your crotch. So we have 8.5, and here we have 10.5. Sorry, here is 8.5 and here is 2, and so we have 10.5. Okay. Okay, take the length of the trouser. The length of the trouser is 41. So from here we go down to where we have 41. Okay, so I'll mark out the 2 inches. I marked out here and here. So next up, we're going to take our hip measurement. Our hip is 12. We'll mark out 12 down to the crotch length. So I'll join the points. Okay. So now, afterwards, we'll go to our crotch extension. We'll come down. This here is our waistline. Let me say, here's our waistline. Here's our hip length. Here's our crotch length. Okay, crotch length. So here, on this third line, that's where we are going to make our crotch extension. We'll extend the crotch. Okay, and we divided it by 10. We divided our hip by 20 for the front. Okay, for the front, the hip is divided by 20, and so we had it as 2.4. Okay, I'll mark it out, and then I've marked it out here. I hope you can see it here. Okay, I marked it out here. I want you to please concentrate, watch this carefully so that you don't make mistakes. Here, I'll also come to the hip where I have the hip length. After the hip circumference line, I'll come to this hip length, okay? I'll come out. I want to have a good curve, okay? The curve is really important so that your crotch can lie well, okay? So here, I'll come out by 0.2. I'll mark out 0.2 from that line where I have my hip circumference line. I'll mark out 0.2. From here, that's where I will have my crotch curve. I'll mark out my crotch curve using my curve ruler. It's broken, but it's still useful to me. So watch me how I place the curve, okay? It's touching here. This part of the curve is touching where I marked out my 2.4, and it's also touching where I marked out my 0.2, okay? Then it will now have to blend with this line. So this is what we have. Make sure it's touching here, your 2.4, and it's also touching your 0.2 and touching your the hip circumference line, okay? Then you just mark out your curve. This is what we have, okay? Now, after this, we are going to just mark out. This is like the lap. If you measure it, it will be almost the same thing, maybe 0.2 inches different, okay? It will be the same thing as your lap from here to here. So you take it, if you want to make a trouser like the one on the screen, that's what you will do. You will take it down here. I have 14.5 as the lap. You take that straight to where you have your hem, the hem of the trouser, and we'll go on with. That's why I said this is very easy and fast. This is 14.5, so I don't make any mistake. I'll mark out a 14.5 here. Okay. Now I'm trying point. But if you make a trouser that's a stencil, you use your other curve, okay? So I'll take this out. If you want to make a palazzo that has an open leg, like the leg is this wide, you can leave it like this, you're done, okay? But if you're to make a trouser like the one on the screen, we'll come in here by 1.5, okay? Come in here by 1 inch. Or to use a longer ruler to blend it from here. Or to use a longer ruler. So I'm coming from here. I'll just make it faded line, like to see if, since I'm using a long ruler, to see if it's blend with what I have here. So if you have a long ruler, use my long ruler is okay. So you just use the elastic. So if you want it the same open line from straight from your knee length, that's what you're going to do. So I'm trying to do open lines first, and I'll check it out before I make it visible. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's blend it. So let's see from here. Okay, so try and blend. You have a long ruler. You don't stretch it this much. So this one has. So you just take it straight to that. You can bend it easily. So I hope you can see we are done with the front already. Okay, we are done with the front. This is what the front looks like. Okay, the down part. This is what it looks like, and here is the front. So sorry, we are going to do the waist. Okay, so from here I will come in for my darts. I'll measure up my dart from here as 4.5. My waist is 37. I'll divide it by 4 and it will give me 9.2. But I would 1 inch for my dart, I'll have 10 points. 10.2, okay, plus 1 inch for the dart. So the length of my dart, I'll be taking 4.5. Please, if you know you've watched up to this extent, do click on the subscribe button and like this video, give this video a thumbs up, and click on the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever a video is being uploaded on this channel. Thank you. So this is my 1 inch for my dart. I'm going to blend it to my 4.5. Now we are going to measure up at 10.5. Okay, remember, sorry, 10.2. Remember, it was 9.2. We added 1 inch for because of our dart. Okay, so here I'm not blending it to this point. I'm going to stop somewhere around there. Okay. So this is what we have, and I'll come down here by 0.5 to give it so that it will have a good and relaxing weight. Sorry about that. And I'll get the curve for this. Okay. So I'll have this, and here at the waistline here, I'll come up by 0.5. Okay. So this is what we have. Here's what we have. We're done with the front. I'll keep 0.5 inches here for the joining allowance. This is no longer required. This is my line. So I'll add, and here also, it's not required. So I'm going to add 0.5 all around here, and here I'll add 1 inch, okay, for sewing allowance. Let's do that now. And at the waist, we'll add 0.5 too for joining with the band. So Hey, please, if you haven't subscribed, please do well to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up and click on the notification bell below so that you can be notified whenever a video is being uploaded. Please do that right away. Thank you. Please be careful while joining this point so that you wouldn't, and try to do it step by step. So this way, okay. So here now, make sure this is 0.5, so you can come up here, mark it out. I need like this, so you try to do it, and I'll make it out. Okay, so try this. Okay. All right, here it is. This is the front here. Okay, and now we'll do the back. And before then, let me do this. So here, to do the back, we are going to begin with another marker. Here, I'll be moving in by 1.5. Okay, this is my 1.5. We are beginning the back right now. Okay, from here, from the inner line, don't forget, from the inner line, we are moving in by 1.5. I'm going up by 1.7. Okay, so now that I'm adding my allowance, 0.5 allowance, so here, for instance, this is my 1 point. At this line, this is the main line. This, I hope you can see, this is my main line. If I made this allowance, this is my waistline here. Okay, don't forget, this is my waistline. This is my waistline here. Okay, here. This is my waistline. This here, up here, is the allowance I kept. So here, I came in here by 1.5, and I'm going up here from that main waistline before the allowance was being kept. I'm going up by 1.7. Okay, instead of 2 inches. Supposing it was up to 50, I would have done 2 inches. So here I'm doing 1.7. Since the person's hip is 48, I'm going up by 1.7. Then I'm adding my 0.5 inch allowance. I hope you understand, because after coming up here by 1.7 and my 0.5 inch allowance for joining, I would have to take it over here. I don't want to, supposing I did not keep my allowance, please don't get confused. Supposing I did not keep allowance at the waistline, okay, I would have just not kept allowance here as well yet, okay, I would have just followed this line, this 1.7. I would have just kept my tape here, my tape roll here, and I'll blend it to this line. That's 10.2. Remember, the waistline is 9.2, but we are adding what they call it, allowance, okay? So as in we're adding 1 inch for our that. That's what made it 10.2. Normally the waistline is 9.2. So here I was supposed to take it from this 1.7 down to this main waistline, okay? Because I came up here by 0.5. I would also come up at the back, okay? By the side, because the side is equal. Is the back, the crotch at the back. That line we have at the back, it has to be higher because the butt is that way, okay? So here you place your tape roll here and you blend it towards where you have your waistline here. But because I've kept my 0.5 inch allowance here, I will just come here, so I won't have to do that later on. I'll just have to come here, okay, where I also kept my 0.5 inch allowance here, and blend it to where I have 10.2, okay? I'll just mark my 10.2 here, okay? Then I will do this. Place my and mark it out. Okay. I hope you can see from here to here. Now, after doing this, we have to come here. I would have to extend my line here. This width is already extended, okay? I already extended it here. So here, on this other part of the trouser, I'll extend all these lines. I'll extend the line. Here is extended at the hem. So where we have the hip here, without, supposing this allowance was not there, okay, we'll come out by 0.5. Come out by 0.5 on all sides of the back, okay? But here I've kept, and later, after coming out, we'll now keep our 1 inch allowance, like for sewing. The 0.5 inch we're keeping at the back is not for sewing. The back is like 1 inch bigger than the front. Like we're keeping 0.5 at the side, on every side of the back, as in the side seam and the center back seam, okay? So I hope you're getting what I mean. So here, the allowance is already being kept. Supposing you are doing the freehand, you've kept your allowance everywhere, like this is your front. You have cut out your front, okay? You will just place this on a fabric, okay, for the back. Maybe after cutting your front, keeping your entire allowance, doing your thing, you cut it, place it on the fabric, and start keeping that 0.5 inch allowance that I want to start keeping now on the hip. I'm placing my 0.5 everywhere around here. 0.5. I'll just place 0.5 on both sides. Okay. I'm mark 0.5. And the hem down to here. Okay. So yeah, we'll also take mark out. Okay, before we do the 0.5 on this crotch side, okay, let's listen to this part of it. It's very important as well. Here, for the crotch at the back, we'll come in here first off, what we do is we come in here from this our straight line we had, okay, when we took our hip measurements. We'll come in here by 1 inch. On this 1 inch, we are going to use our ruler and join this point to this point, to this 1 inch we came in. And this 1 inch, we are coming in at the crotch length. That's where we are coming in. Okay, I hope you can see it. And so from this point, this is now our back. You can see it. Okay. From this point, we'll come out. I'm trying to take my time so that you get it right. From this point, we are going to, that's where we'll take out our crotch length. Sorry, our crotch extension at the back. Okay, from here where we have this red marker, we are going to mark out our crotch extension, which is 4.8. We are going to have 4.8 on it. So I'll mark out 4.8 there. And then you remember at the front, we came out by 0.2 on this our hip line, our hip length. We'll do same too at the back. We'll come out here so that we'll have a good curve, crotch curve, okay? We'll come out here by 0.2 and then we'll mark it out here. You be careful, okay? You see, this is what we have here. And see, this is what we have, okay? From here, see how I'm placing my ruler. My curve. You make sure that here is touching this point. We are having it here, okay? You do this, okay? Then you just keep trying to, you make sure it's blending. You have to take your time to do this. You blend it. You see this point, any sharp point, try to blend, okay? So you blend it this way. Back extension here. From this point now, we are supposed to add up, come down here. This is like our main crotch extension at the back. So here, this is our line here, okay? We to blend this thing to the 0.5. Supposing, for instance, this like from here to here is like a knee. Okay, let me just get the knee for you, the knee length. If you don't measure the knee length, this is what you do. You come here, mark this out, and then measure up from your crotch, from this crotch length, measure it down to, place your tape this way, then you do this, okay? Mark out this point. Then you come up, you see come up here by 1.5, okay? This will help you when you're doing a pencil trouser. So you see this point, I came out by 1.5 again, up by 1.5. That's a knee length. Supposing you are not in a position to take your client's knee measurement, you can get it that way. So from this, where I have this point, I'll come out by 1 inch, 0.5. Okay, remember we're supposed to come out by 0.5 on all sides. So that's, I'll come up here by 0.5. Just let me see. No. So you can see it's meeting this my allowance here. Okay, that means I'll come out here 0.5 and I'm blending it. Okay, this is like, this is our back now. So here I'll now put my 0.5. Later I'll now have another, as in I'll now put my 0.5 allowance for sewing. Okay, this 0.5 I came out here by is the 0.5 for the back, because the back is bigger than the front, and I blended. I'll still come out by 0.5 again for my back, for the allowance at the back. So now we're done keeping our 0.5 extension. Here we have extended at the side seam, we have extended by 0. Okay, we have extended by 0.5 here, and this is our waist measurement, but we have not added allowance. Remember, here our front we added allowance already. So here at the waistline we have to add our, at the back we have to add our 1 inch allowance for sewing. Okay, because here is 10.5 and 10.2, and we know too from here to here is also 10.2 at the front. From here to here, from here to here is 10.2, and we added our allowance. That is this point. So here we did not add allowance yet. So here I'm going to add my 1 inch allowance here, and then I will blend it to this 0.5 inch allowance. Okay, if I'm doing freehand now, I'll place this front, okay, on a fabric, and I'll just, knowing that I've already kept 1 inch allowance here, that means if I cut through this one, it's still 1 inch allowance at the back, okay? But if I'm doing, like I'm drafting a pattern, and I decide to trace this, okay? Trace this out, and I'm tracing this out as well. I'm tracing this whole part, including, and I'll trace this part, that means there's an allowance here already, okay? I've added an allowance here already, so I'll join this part. So my allowance also at my side, the side seam of my trouser is already there. This one I'm doing now is my 0.5 inch allowance, and an inch that's added at the back because of the buff, okay? If you have any question, you can comment on the comment section, okay? And I'll answer. I'll do answer them. Now, I've joined you. Remember to please try not to forget your 1 inch allowance at the back. So keep it at the back. So back to this one, we are going to keep our 0.5 inch allowance here. Then we do our that. We are done because we already have our 0.54. So we're joining on this side. So yeah, I'll keep 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. I like watching you do this because if you don't keep your allowance properly, then you have issues. You don't have any issues. So you try to join here, 0.5, try to make a point, needs at 0.5 on one side. Just be patient and get it. So this is what we have. Okay, I'll get my 0.5. Now. Make sure I have 0.5. So please subscribe and tell others about this channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Click on the notification bell. and thank you. So this is the darkened button at the back. Remember, the back is slanted, so your darts. So sorry, the measurement of the dart here. Remember, what I've kept allowance here. It's meant to be 5, so we'll just take it down by 5.5 because we are holding 0.5 down there. So it will seem here 0.5, 0.5, and we join the points. Okay, thank you for staying to the end. So this here is our back, and here is the front here. Okay, front. So if you're cutting, you make sure for the front you cut through here. If you know you want to use this as your master pattern, like where you manipulate all other trouser, you can use your tracing wheel, trace out your front and trace out your back in a brand new paper. You put it under a new sheet of pattern paper under this, and use your tracing wheel to trace out your front differently and you trace out your back differently. When you're cutting, you cut them differently, okay? But when you're doing when you're doing a freehand, you can do your front and use your front to cut the back of the trouser. I did this so you can be able to view it clearly, since I'll be using a marker. A chalk may not be as bright as this, and using different chalk, it may not be this way. Please subscribe, click on the notification bell down there, and give this video a thumbs up. God bless you. See you in my next video. Bye.